This is what this regime was doing to fund their incredibly luxurious lifestyle. Syria, a country where the regime controls every aspect of life. But while Assad was tightening his hold on the people, he was also busy running a $10 billion drug empire. Captagon, the little white pill fueling war zones and criminal networks. With 80% of the world's supply coming from Syria, this was a state-sponsored, industrial-scale production, executed with ruthless precision that even the narcos of America would have been proud of. From clandestine labs to smuggling routes that spans continents, the Syrian regime ensured that while its people suffered, the Assad family lived in obscene luxury. To delve into its mystery, I came to see it for myself. And what I found, not chaos, not recklessness, but a well-oiled machine. One that was running just 2 weeks earlier. Right then, welcome to Syria. We have just arrived at what I think is probably the last stand of the Syrian army against HTS. This is, I think we're probably about, what, 30 minutes away from the Lebanese border, and we've got tanks, we've got military vehicles, we've got trucks, all in a bit of a mess, so probably Russian as well. This is a checkpoint. This was a very notorious checkpoint here in Syria, and this is, like many of the checkpoints from Lebanon to Damascus, would have been used as a way to bribe and intimidate many of the locals here. See if we can get on it. Assalamu alaikum. See, you can tell so many people like just stopping here to take photos because it really shows it's a sign of what actually happened here, a sign of the fall of the regime. I've seen many tanks with the guts pulled out of them of wars gone by, and this to think that somebody was in it fighting within a battle about 3 weeks ago. Oh God, how did you get in this? Oh, this is, I would not like this. This is so tight. There's just room, just about room for 2 people. You've got a hatch here that I'm in. You've got one over there. And I can't imagine how this would feel in the midst of a battle. Probably very, very hot as well. I'm surprised how much they could see because everything's right in front of your, face, almost too close. And there's so many things, so many knobs to have to worry about. And you've got pedals here at the bottom. And then I'm guessing this guy on the right was probably in charge of, the cannon. This is quite something else. 3 weeks ago, this was used. Oh. Probably booby trapped. I can't explain to you how tight it is. This guy here, I'm not sure what this guy was this guy driving? Maybe this guy was I don't really know. Fuck knows what this guy was doing. But between him and the other guy, one was driving and one was obviously firing the shots. Super exposed. And obviously making a break for the Lebanese border. Let's get the hell out of here. Rami, where are all the soldiers now?
There is no Syrian army anymore. They dismantled the Syrian army and there is no military service anymore in Syria.
Okay.
Now you can volunteer. Now they are forming the new Syrian army and it's going to be volunteering. You get high salary and you don't have to serve.
Do you think there's any way the regime could recover from what's just happened?
No.
No?
No.
Gone. That's
no,
it.
because there is the public support against him.
Yeah.
The public now are against him 100%.
As you can see, so many people here stopping by. I've been here for maybe 10 minutes. You've had 2 or 3 cars stopping by to get a photo. This is people obviously showing how happy they are and relieved at what's happened. This would never have been possible. You'd have never got anywhere near a tank or a military vehicle during the Assad regime. Assalamu alaikum. Marhaba.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good.
Very good. You're Syrian? Syrian?
نعم.
Damascus?
نعم لا يبالي.
Nice to meet you.
نعم.
Nice to meet you.
نعم.
يبعتوا هيدا واضح فرجيني كاميرا.
Yes.
ايه هيدا صعب يبعتوا تليفون.
Yes, let's go. These guys have lived through a civil war for 13 or 14 years. Free Syria! Free Syria!
How are you? Very good.
I'm good, how are you? Very good, nice to see you again. We've just arrived at
one of probably the many Captagon factories, which is an illicit drug here used all around the Middle East. It's like a focus drug, a stimulant, which is also used as a clubbing drug. And they made it here in Syria, who had 80% of the markets, the global markets. And this is how Assad funded his and his family's incredible lifestyle. Obviously it just looks like a pretty posh villa in sort of in the outskirts of Damascus towards the Lebanese border. Let's have a wee look at the gate lodge. As you can see, you can still see from the guards or people who had been here, leftover food. People were just here 3 weeks ago making drugs. You get probably the raw materials in this barrel. Not sure, obviously the raw materials because it's synthetic. Probably all would have been legal. Quite incredible. But we can't see if there's anyone here, but we're going to try and see if we can get access some way.
Actually, this is closed, right? But I called someone, they said there is another bigger Captagon factory in Duma. So we'll go there anyway, right?
Rami, the more drugs the better. Let's go.
So during our time here in Damascus, it would be remiss of me to not visit the statue of the unknown soldier. And this is where, it was actually a political tool, this is what the Assads built to remember the fallen soldiers of every war they were involved in. But one thing about this recently, since the start of the Civil War in 2011, they closed this place off completely out of fear of protest and the fact that it was so close to the presidential palace, which stands in front of me. We can't get access to it because it's completely off limits now. A lot of things have changed over the past couple of days, but I have never seen, you don't see too much of it, maybe from this distance away, but I've never seen a palace or a home as big as that. That's the main one there, it goes back to the Ottoman Empire, and they rebuilt that. And then on the right hand side you have the first house, and then this is the presidential palace, all part of the same complex. This is how he was living, and they had this place completely off limits for locals, for tourists, to ensure his safety, but it was all about control for the Assads. Right, so we just come down obviously from the statue of the unknown soldier. We're enjoying a little Nescafe. Strong.
He used to work at a lawyer office, like he prepared tea and coffee.
What's his name?
شو الاسم الكريم؟
محمد ابو رنين عندي 4 بنات الحمد لله.
Call me Daoud. Mohammed Daoud.
اهلا وسهلا تشرفنا. مسلم؟
No.
He has four daughters.
4 daughters. Can you ask him what's his feelings about the new Syria?
شو شعورك بسوريا الجديدة؟
متفائل بالخير. غدا
Very optimistic.
احسن.
Very optimistic.
Tomorrow is going to be better than today.
So we're just on our way to one of the viewpoints of the main city, and Rami was telling me, I don't know if it's from experience, but Rami was telling me that we're now driving through what I can only describe as the dogging area of Damascus. This is where local, what could you say, couples would have come, parked their car to the side of the road to get intimate. Yeah, a lot of things that surprise you whenever you come and peel off the layers in Syria. We've got the police right in front of us here. I'm not sure if they're going to be...
Yeah, this is the new cars of...
Are they here for dogging?
No.
They're here just to make sure no one's dogging. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Get that straight. So there's no dogging in Syria anymore. Gotta behave yourself. Wow. Okay, when he said viewpoint, I didn't expect this. Take a look. Wow, that is impressive. You weren't allowed to see this view either?
No. I mean,
this was off limits as well?
Yeah, it's off limits. It makes me really feel sad because, I mean, it's the right of the Syrian people to come and enjoy the view of what they built, you know. This huge amount of buildings and this mosaic, it's built by Syrian people. So it's their right at least to come and enjoy this landscape. So we have been deprived this landscape for 14 years.
And what's the reason? I don't mean what's the reason Assad gave. What's the reason, do you think, deep down?
So the direct reason they say is that this is high point So it's from security perspective, it shouldn't be visited because they want to protect the place, right? But I think the reason is that we want to punish those Syrian people who rebelled against us, and they don't deserve to see this beautiful land.
And in order to punish some Syrians, he punishes them all.
Of course, because I mean the entire Syrians are frustrated. I mean, come on, if you are dictated what to do all the time, I mean you will be frustrated.
Wow. It is absolutely. When you mentioned view, no, I wasn't sure. This is a view.
Cheers. Don't think really out.
Can you ask him where the best dogging place is?
Oh, dog.
Just joking. Thank you very much. Shukran. I keep on forgetting you know all the best places. Silly me. To water. Oh wow.
السلام عليكم. يعطيك العافية عمو. طمنا عنك شو الأخبار؟ شكرا جزيلا.
We're in.
It's here.
We're in. We're good.
Yeah.
Finally, we can buy some drugs.
This could never be built without the knowledge of the government or the officials. It's it's very obvious. It's very professional.
Yeah. Wow. Well, finally, after so long, our permission has finally been given.
I'm happy now.
And what a time. Let's go buy some Captagon. Absolutely in the middle of nowhere, away from the prying eyes of the public. Probably the old refrigerated lorry that they use too, probably to carry bodies as well. Right, oh, look at this. Dishka. Okay, so we're just actually waiting to get access. We've been told we need a mask. Did I think that our COVID mask would eventually come in handy? No, but you can actually smell the scent is very, very strong. I've been carrying this mask for the past 4 years.
Oh, this smell is really, really
is strong,
bad.
eh?
Yeah, it's very strong.
Oh, that is strong. Oh, these are the Captagon?
Yes.
Oh yes, you can see it's sort of the half moon, or 2 half moons if you like. Tastes good. So they didn't make them upstairs, it was all down in the basement?
Yeah. You see?
Oh, so this is how they smuggled it?
Yes.
Inside these. What would these be considered?
Cables.
So this was cables, okay. So this was like a reel, if you like, for a cable.
Of the electricity.
Ah. So what they were doing, they were saying they were transporting
Exporting,
electrical
yeah.
components.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of. Oh my god. And how much would one of these been?
Like each one is $5.
$5 and probably just a few cents to make. As you can see, the amount of tablets here. Wow. This is what this Assad regime was doing to fund their incredibly luxurious lifestyle. Holidays, handbags, palaces.
Inside this table, they export it as a table.
Oh yes,
and
okay.
they stiff it with a lot of tablets.
Yeah, you can see. Wow, so any means necessary. They used a lot of different methods from, electrical cables to these electrical boxes to furniture. Oh, is this the mold?
Yeah, they pour the liquid and they turn it into tablet here. This is the raw material.
This is some of the raw materials. And this would have come maybe from China or
India.
something like India. Okay. And of course the raw materials are probably legal.
Legal, yeah.
Yeah.
The medicine things like the caffeine and citrate, magnesium.
And then brought together they create this Captagon. 80% of Captagon was created here in Syria. 80%. So this is what it would have looked like at the border. So we're going to open it here and see how many's inside. It actually looks pretty legit.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so those are inside. And would any of these components actually work, or are they all just dummy?
Yeah, they work.
They work?
They function, they work perfectly.
There we go.
So not only is it wedged in this container, it's actually linked up to these wires. So if you wanted to remove it, this is what you would have to do at the border. Right. The knife. Wow. Oh. Well, that shows you the level. Whoa, this is all boxes? And this was all ready to be transported to, probably through Jordan, to Saudi, to Dubai, to Turkey. This shows you the level of smuggling firm, if you like to call it, this was. And this is how it would have looked coming into customs in the back of a lorry. Just pills everywhere. Was locals have known what was going on here?
No.
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 And who would
Locals
have?
even are prevented to come here.
Prevented.
If you see on the main entrance,
Of course.
they say it's forbidden to go inside.
And would the government have? Would they have built this place themselves?
They actually took it from someone. It belonged to someone. They took it forcibly.
And then he couldn't say anything because obviously he's at the mercy of the government. Which,
Of course.
again, he could
Yeah.
disappear for 10 years
course.
like many other people.
Yeah.
How do you feel being here as a Syrian, knowing what your government and your
I'm
president has been
really
up to?
overwhelmed, you know. I don't know how to describe my feeling. It's like, it seemed like in the news, it seemed fake, it seemed unreal. But looking at this now, I'm really shocked. This is organized crime.
Yeah, at the top level.
At the top
At
level,
the very,
yeah.
very top. So Captagon is a synthetic drug, which means it doesn't require any sort of climate. So it can be made all around the world as long as you have the raw materials. And these are some of the raw materials that would have been used. But these materials would have been legal, probably bought from India, maybe China, and then brought together with the other materials. You can still smell it's incredibly strong.
So after all the journalists come and finish taking pictures and so on, they want to destroy everything, burn everything, and yeah.
And then there's no future for the drug industry or Captagon industry in Syria.
That's the end of it. The owner of this factory came back from Egypt because he went to Egypt. He was intimidated by the regime and the way they dealt with him. So he went to Egypt. When the regime has gone, he came back and he saw fire in his factory. He actually called the fire distinguisher.
A fire brigade.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they came here, they discovered this huge factory of Captagon.
Rami says that these places are put in strategic places around Syria, you know, close to motorways, close to borders, and obviously away from the prying eyes of the public. So it probably would have been here for maybe many more years before someone actually came here to investigate and see what was.
Yeah. Actually, this is a parliament candidate.
He was probably involved in this?
هو هذا كان يعني متورط بال I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, this probably shows you. Let me look. It went right to the top. Guys, for those of you who not here to tell anyone to take drugs or not take drugs, this is the type of stuff you're putting into your body. Titanium dioxide in a bag that looks more like a cement bag. As you can see from above, you can see obviously this place was set alight in order to try and get rid of any of the evidence. But now we're going ahead to the room at the end of this dark corridor. See what else. Oh yes, this is where they tried to burn the place. Oh, you can smell. Oh, there's a strong smell. What are these molds for?
يعني قوالب صبلة شو عم
قوالب صب مثل مثلا بيعبوا مثلا بطاطا هيك.
It's like to fit it inside a potato.
Oh, right, okay. So they make molds of maybe it's different fruits
different
or
fruits.
different whatever it is.
Correct, yeah.
So this is obviously, again, some more of the raw materials which maybe came in this sort of size. So these are huge, huge liquid containers. And as you can see, they've been burned, probably burned before whoever was working here, before they left in a hurry. as the rebels came forward to Damascus. Look at this, look at the damage. Look at the stuff. Like, there was just no way they were going to get rid of all this evidence. It was too much. It's like something you would expect in the 1960s, 1970s to come here like 40, 50 years later and hear stories. Not in Syria in 2024.
Yes,
It is hard to believe.
it's really hard.
And I'm sure more difficult for you because being a Syrian.
To be honest, I can't really process what I can see. I think I need some time to really process.
Yeah.
Because it's really overwhelming.
This is your first time in here?
This is my first time
Yeah.
here. Yeah, it's very huge, you know.
What the? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Is he surprised what he found here?
انت متفاجئ انه شو شفت هون؟
هو يضيفوا العالم كلها مشان شو تأدمن على الحب هذا.
It's toxic for the people. They wanted people to get accustomed to this, so they used to put it in tea. Like, let's say there is a wedding, they used to put it in the tea or something. Actually, I heard this kind of thing.
Wow.
There is a series, Syrian series, it talks about this. Captagon makes you awake for 3 days without the need to sleep.
So it's highly addictive
It's
as
like
well.
highly addictive, and it can give you this huge energy.
Right, so this is what would have been one of the trucks that they would have used to transport this material, these drugs, throughout the Middle East. All through ground, not through air. As you can see, empty. Wow, it's unbelievable. Recently, during the fall, or before?
Those are recent.
Recent.
Because he was explaining to me that they are protecting the place, right? So sometimes they want to prove that we are here.
Ah,
So
okay.
sometimes they.
So it's a show of strength. Can you ask him how he thinks it was possible? You know, was there any counter resistance, or you know, was it an agreement that was made?
كان في مقاومة بس ولكن ما يثبتوا يهربوا.
There was a resistance, but it was very
قتلناهم هناك
weak.
قتال يعني. لا أنا هون يومين ما أجت الكهرباء.
إيه تمام ما في كهرباء.
يومين. أجت ساعتين بس وقطعت
بدها
ولا
تصليح
يومين لا
كل
لا.
البنية التحتية بدها تصليح وبدك المصافي النفط تتظبط
صح، مظبوط.
كذا ما يعني فساد مستشري.
بدها سنة لسه البلد رح تتحسن.
في ناس بالخيام، في ناس حتى اللي قاعدين ببيوتها بردانة، في المعتقلات بصيدنايا مثلا
صح.
السجين هل حيدفوه مثلا؟
أكيد لا.
حيموتوا من البرد.
أكيد.
فنحن توقيتكم كان منيح لانه كسرتوا هي
يعني هدوا كل شيء بيوت. لحد الآن هلا العالم بتطلع هيك وين بدي أرجع أنا مثلا؟ يعني هالمناطق تحررت هاي ما فيك ترجع. ما فيها كهرباء، ما فيها خدمات، البيوت كلها مهدمة.
صح.
So we've been exploring this drugs factory for the best part of an hour now. Rami said that only now are the people of Syria allowed to truly understand and get to know their country. As for the past 50 years, obviously under the Assad regime, they haven't been allowed to. It kind of makes me think sometimes of how lucky we are in the West and how much we take for granted. And then you come here and see how nice people are and how much what life they're living or what life they're told to live. It just puts a lot into perspective. Obviously a lot more has come to light in Syria than the locals probably could ever have imagined, including this drug factory. Right, what do we have here? Oh wow, oh wow.
So he said that missiles actually after the liberation there were missiles hitting this place.
Was this ground to ground missiles or was this air support?
To be
Don't
honest,
know.
we don't know. Yeah.
Don't approach what?
Don't touch that.
This is, what is this?
It is a missile.
Oh, this is a missile.
But it's not exploded. There is another one.
What the fuck are we doing here then? How many missiles?
But don't go.
No. This is where it landed?
إيه هذا الصاروخ نزل بالأرض بس من هون صور لا تدوس فوق من هون نازل هيك.
هذا ما انفجر.
هسه مو موجود.
Oh, it's still in there?
It's still there, man. It's not exploded. It can explode any minute.
Oh, this is exactly what I want to hear. I can't begin to tell you
Maybe this
how
is
dangerous this is.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think they actually meant to land the missiles here or the factory?
I think the factory, but because it's like kind of primitive
Okay.
missiles, so the one who did this want to destroy the evidence, but I mean these are really very primitive. It's not.
Okay, so these are Syrian
very, like,
missiles
last
rather
minute- last
than
minute thing.
Russian or yes.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying to guess. I'm trying
yes,
to guess.
well, that goes to show why it probably didn't explode.
Yeah.
It's because
maybe,
it's probably very low quality.
Yes.
Well, I've done a lot of strange and questionable things in my life. That was probably got to be right up there. Oh. Ah, so they use many different smuggling techniques. They use fruit as well.
Yeah. So it's like juices, bottles. and
Oh,
they-
these was
Yeah.
bottles of
Bottles of juice,
orange.
yeah. Not illegal. This is legal material.
Where does this come from? What's the language on it?
Saudi Arabia. Chemicals.
Saudi.
Yeah.
Came from Saudi. Sodium hydroxide. It's only actually when you get into the main part of the warehouse upstairs, you see the scale of this. Look at the amount of cardboard boxes here, flat packed. And then on the right hand side, you have the liquid storage containers too, all used to either smuggle and hide the drugs or to help manufacture them. What they would have done, although there's not much in here in this room, they would have kept most of the drug making facilities downstairs away from any prying eyes. So this is probably what the people here were making the drugs were actually using.
Yes.
Don't even want to touch it because that shows obviously how toxic these materials are. And these are maybe more materials that was used as well.
Ethyl acetate.
These got to be strong materials because it's such a small volume. Right guys, so we have the mask back on because we're upstairs and it's incredibly, the smell here, you can just tell how toxic it is. But we're in this little room, we're surrounded by these bottles. God, this is not a good place to be. Ammonia, which would have been, that was the liquid that exploded, I don't know if you remember, in Lebanon, in the city of Lebanon, maybe a couple of years ago. So incredibly flammable, incredibly explosive and toxic. And then also we have potassium iodide and then also methanol. So the mix of some of these raw materials is what makes Captagon. Do they feel the effects of being here because of the smells, the fumes?
Yeah, it's
do?
irritating. It's irritating. But they have to stay here
Yeah.
to protect
فرج
the
العالم يجي الاعلامي والصحفي يفرجوا
to
العالم
show the world, to show the journalists the crimes of the regime.
Where? Irlande.
Assad.
No, he said he's one of the sleeping cells of us.
No.
شكرا.
يعطيك ألف عافية.
Right guys, so we've just arrived at one of the many palaces here of the Assad family. Don't actually think we can get access. Everything has been closed off since the past couple of weeks as rebels have got control. They then tried to clamp down on people just getting access to whether it's prisons, the palaces, to keep whether it's, I suppose, evidence on bringing certain people to justice. But whenever 90% of the Syrian population were living in poverty, this is how the Assad family were living. One of their palaces.
So actually, because the Syrian people suffered. No water, no electricity, no fuel, no nothing. But for the Assad family, everything is affordable. Everything.
Yeah.
24 hours, water, electricity, fuel. They have their own dedicated springs.
Oh, so they have their own connection to these
Everything.
utilities and services?
Everything,
So
yes.
while there's blackouts happening throughout the rest of Damascus, the likes of this palace and the other palaces always have access.
Of course. They are living in a very luxurious life on the expense of the Syrian people suffering.
But guys, I think this is probably as far as we are getting, but I think, from what I've heard, wow, these windows are bulletproof. This shows the true level of paranoia the Assad family had.
Exactly.
They knew if they're having bulletproof windows, they knew obviously what they were doing was injustices. marble floors. Everything's very, very ornate. You've got wood carvings. It's almost like a church style to get into each room. What would Assad think of the thought of locals and the people of Syria having gone through and rummaged his palace? He wouldn't
I think he has never thought about this.
No.
But he is now going crazy because people can really make it inside these things that were their belongings. It is not. It is for the people. We found that underground, under their residential palaces and so on, a lot of tunnels underground. So they are living in another level, another city, just to protect themselves from the people.
Do you think they were also living in fear?
Yeah, of course, in the entire time, because the people, they don't want them.
Oh wow, look at this. Oh wow, look at the detail. Oh wow, this is, this thing costs like tens of thousands of dollars for one door.
They have plenty of money.
And this here, and look at the detail as well. I don't know if you can see, like just down on either side, probably handmade. Was this existing? This furniture? Was this?
Yeah, first, I mean, because of the chaos in the beginning, some of the civilians sneaked inside, they abused the place, they took something and so on. So you can see it's chaotic a little bit. Let's show you now the gym. They have their own gym.
Oh, right,
here.
okay. Can you tell me what it says here?
Your soul to the hell.
Your soul to the hell.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, there's a we've got a rebel working out. Training as well. Now look at the size of this place. And this is probably, most of the machines have probably been looted. Probably taken away. Wow, so this is where Assad would have been, I don't know what this machine is, but I think it maybe does abs. And this is where he would have been making the decisions to torture the next prisoner, whatever sort of acts of evil he decided to do. He doesn't look like a guy who works out. He's very he's very small and slight.
But this is just to keep fit, I think. Nothing like shaving his body or something.
Yeah, it's a big gym. This is probably the biggest home gym I've ever seen in my life.
It's very luxurious. Also, look at the kind of wood
Yeah.
there.
You've got a running track. I'm guessing that what this is for. This is like a running track, some sort of I don't know, sort of plastic coating on the floor. Oh, in the kitchen. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, there's not much left. Most of it has been taken away. Oh, who would have thought? Sitting in the home gym of Assad. Right, we've been led into. Oh, sauna. What's this? Man, this guy. Let's have a look in here. Yes, there he is. The guy had pretty much everything. He had a sauna. He had. Oh my god. Oh wow. And just remember, this is one of many palaces. Not the biggest. This looks more like a boat, but it's obviously a little plunge pool. You have a jacuzzi here. And again, this is probably where people came to relax, came to chill out. Probably used it very rarely. They probably spent most of their time in holiday or in one of the other palaces. Like 90% of Syrians were living in poverty while he was chilling out in places like this. Probably a chair where his hair washed. You get toilets, shower. Oh, somebody has shit in the shower. Oh, somebody has shit in the shower.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So what would Assad think if somebody was?
I think he should see.
Did the local people know that this was owned by the Assads? Do
Yes,
they know who
of
lived here?
course, yeah. They know, but I mean, it's very protective area. Like,
so it's dangerous to even walk past
very
as a resident.
dangerous to even live here because I mean, if anything, if they feel you are suspicious or something, they would arrest you and interrogate you because this is very sensitive. You know, it's like the president is living here. That's why it's expensive area, but people don't actually prefer to stay here. They don't prefer to live here. Because if you live here, let's say that you have guests coming.
Yeah.
Those guests will be inspected, and it will be very harassing to have guests.
Thank him very much for what he's done over the past few years for Syria.
على انه شاركتوا بتحرير سوريا وكل هالسنين، يعني بيبارك لكم النصر.
الله يبارك فيك يا رب، حياكم الله.
Thank you.
شكرا.
Oh, here we go. All right, so we are currently underneath the parliament, and this is some of the regime's old cars. Wow. Bulletproof. That is solid. Wow, look here. Yes, because you can see, obviously, I'm guessing this was from during the liberation a couple of weeks ago. Who would have been transported in this?
The president.
3 طن وزن على الأرض.
3 tons weight.
3 tons. And we've got, what does this say? This is obviously a personalized number plate.
Yeah, the plate, yeah.
What is this?
هي إنه كانت لرئيس جمهورية.
005806. So it was gift to the president. So it was the president car.
بتوقف كل شيء موبايلات له كل شيء
This
أجهزة.
can distort or can deviate all the signals, all kind of signals.
Oh yes, of course. This is right.
Distract all.
Looks like a wheel.
Yeah.
So any signals? Are you talking like telephone signals or?
Yeah, everything.
Yes.
So look inside. Oh right. Okay. Yes.
Pull it, touch, it will slip.
Ah okay. So there's like
Slippery.
like a film or something on it. And this is the damage it does whenever there is a bullet fired at it. Which
هي له أكثر من شيء 10 15 رصاصة لحتى صارت.
give them enough. And probably bulletproof tires as well.
Yeah, exactly.
الرصاص اللي من
Oh,
جوا.
you can feel that. Like the tire wall is so thick. And when was the last time this would have been used?
امتى آخر مرة استخدمت هاي؟
من الشهر كل يوم تطلع هي كل يوم بتروح وبتجي.
I mean a month ago.
مو ما لنا علاقة فيها.
انتوا منين؟
نحن من أجل الشعب.